Our first project of round one was at YMCA Camp Piomingo in Brandenburg, Kentucky. We woke up early to make the drive from Mississippi to Kentucky and realized that our tires didn't have air in them, so that was the beginning of our journey. But here's a picture of all 10 of us in the van together. We managed to pack all of our stuff and all of our supplies for our projects into the van, and then we drove about 12 hours, even though Google Maps said it was only a 9-hour drive, so it was a long day of travel for us. Living in our AmeriCorps van means we can't go over 65 miles per hour, even if the speed limit's over that, and also we stop every 2 hours to switch drivers, so that definitely added time to our journey. Before we left campus, our unit leader gave us this little stuffed otter because we're in the river unit, so we're all river otters. So we carried him around and took a lot of pictures with him. This is our meal schedule and our work schedule for the month that we were there. We would plan our meals out by having 2 chefs each night to cook dinner for the 10 of us. We were provided with lunch from the camp every day, so that was pretty nice. All we had to worry about was waking up early to make your own breakfast and then our cooking schedule for dinner. Camp Piomingo is located in Otter Creek Park, which is a state park in Kentucky. This is a map of what the camp looked like, but we had a lot of open space in the camp and all around it, so it felt pretty isolated at times. This is our kitchen that we got to use to make all our dinners and breakfasts. It was a big industrial kitchen because they use it for all the campers, so it was great having all the different pots and pans and utensils provided for us, so we didn't have to use our own, even though we had it packed in our van. Since we had most weekends off, we would make brunch together as a team, and that was always really fun because we got to use the big kitchen to cook all this fun breakfast food, and we just got to hang out in the space alone. One of our favorite parts about being at camp was all the different animals that lived around. We had that dog Carlton, the black lab is Nana, this cat's name was Sassy, she lived in the barn. There was another barn cat named Eric. They were all really fun to hang out with. The YMCA camp applied for an MCCC team because they hadn't had a facilities director in a few years, and because of COVID they were really short-staffed, so a lot of things around the camp hadn't been worked on in a while. So our team was able to come and do a whole bunch of different jobs for them, but really helped them get a lot of things done in a short amount of time. One of the tasks that our team was given was to clean up and prepare the barn for winter, so we spent a lot of time just hanging out in the barn. Our sponsors thought that it would take us a whole week to do, but it took us about a day and a half because our team moved so fast. Since we were at the camp during an off-season, it was mainly just our team and then a few employees on the campgrounds. So we got to do a lot of the camp activities such as low ropes, scavenger hunt around the campground, some hikes, and also use their pipeline slide, which usually a lot younger campers use, so it was fun seeing our larger staff go down, or our larger team members go down.
One trail.
Living in the woods means we did get to see a lot of different creatures and cool plants and stuff, but yeah, there were wolf spiders everywhere, same with toads and all different kinds of spiders and mushrooms and fun things, but a lot of scary things. Here's another camp dog. His name is Diesel. He was the chef's. The variety of tasks we did at Camp Piomingo was crazy. We had so many different projects to work on every day. I think the most stressful part about being a team leader at this project had to be the speed with which our team completed the projects. I had to keep delegating tasks, but they were flying through them, so it was hard to keep up with the hard work that they were putting in. I think it was really neat seeing all the different members grow in their skills and abilities, though. A lot of them haven't been doing landscaping or yard work out in the woods before, so it was cool seeing them learning how to use new tools like a weed whacker or lawnmower, different hand tools that we used. It was also cool seeing them learn how to adjust and live in a different new environment, further away from people, more surrounded by nature, more filled with different critters. These pictures are from one of our PT hikes out to a nice overlook by the Ohio River, looking onto Indiana. It was a gorgeous view, much nicer looking at it from here than when I accidentally drove over it on my way to pick up my corps members from the laundromat. I slowed down this bit of the video so you could see one of my favorite tattoos on my member, but yeah, I'm not sure how I convinced my team to take these video photos with me so often, but I'm glad I did because they're pretty goofy. The makeup of my team is pretty half and half. I have 5 guys, 3 girls, 1 non-binary person, and myself. So we have 10 members altogether. 5 of them are under 20, and the other 5 are over 22, so pretty split age-wise, but they're from all over the country, so that's pretty cool. We've got a member from Virginia, Ohio, Colorado, Texas, Maine, Connecticut, Georgia, Florida, Maryland, and then I'm from New York, so it's pretty cool being all together.
Alright, where do we want to start today?
At the end of this project, we realized we were really bad at taking before and after photos. This is just an after video, but this was a cabin unit that hadn't been used since the 90s, so it was crazy overgrown and looked horrible. Plus we cleaned all the kayaks and canoes. Would have been a cool before and after pic. Towards the middle of the project, we started finding mice in some of the cabins that we would clean out for the camp. And it was all cute and adorable until we realized that they were also living in our cabins. And by the end, before we moved out, we found their mouse beds that were filled with yarn and string from our clothing and blankets and towels. It was terrifying. Being at a children's camp during an off-season did mean we got really cool opportunities for PT. We played soccer, we ran in the morning, we played Gaga. One of our favorite times was when the Gaga pit was filled with water because it had been raining so much. We decided to play anyway, and it got competitive as always, but more intense because we got to splash each other when we hit the ball. Our time at Camp Piomingo was definitely unique. We got to spend a lot of time connecting as a team and learning how our dynamic works with all the different personalities we have on the team. We took a lot of goofy photos and had a lot of fun, but also did a lot of hard work while we were there and got a lot accomplished for our lovely sponsors, Bridget and Molly. They were so fun to work for. We also ended up working a little bit for the state park. Since the YMCA camp was on the state park's property, it bordered it, and this cemetery that we found was in the state park, not actually on the YMCA camp's property, but since we had time, since we finished our project so quickly, we were able to clean up the old cemetery and find these really old graves that hadn't been cared for a while, so it was pretty cool. We also learned new skills like organizing a library, alphabetizing books, working in the rain, and clearing baby copperheads out of our bathhouse. Oh, and we definitely can't forget learning how to cook for a team of 10 and also learning how to encourage younger teammates to eat their vegetables. We were only in Kentucky for 4 weeks since it was a shorter project, but I think by the time the end of the project rolled around, it was a good time for our team to head out. A lot of people hadn't been in the woods for that long before and haven't been isolated from people, so they were getting a little stir crazy.
1, 2, 3, River Walk!
Like I said, our sponsors are awesome to work with, and since we finished their projects pretty quickly, they let us partake in all the different camp activities like axe throwing, pipeline slide, or high ropes and zip line. I didn't partake in the high ropes or the zip line, but I did go down the pipeline slide, which was out of my comfort zone and very scary.
Be confident they do not want them.
Here's a quick tour of our bathhouse that was located in between the guys' cabin and the girls' cabin. This is where we kept running into wolf spiders, and my girl Janata was showering with toads, thinking they were just rocks in the corner, until she left and they hopped out after her. Here's the bathroom that was located in the dining hall that I would occasionally go up to shower in because I didn't want to deal with the spiders anymore. Here's one of the many examples of our team making fun for ourselves, having fruit roll-up races because there was nothing else going on. And it kept us entertained and was great for team bonding, so I'm all for it.
Got it.
You gotta swallow it.
I'm good. I got it.
We only ventured off of the campsite a few different times. One common thing that we would do is go to the Kroger's to get our groceries. We also went to the laundromat once a week to do our laundry. It was a weird place that was half laundromat, half car wash. Another place that was a weird combination was their coffee shop that also sold Mexican street food. The only normal place we found there was a Mexican restaurant, so we visited that a few times. I also got to go on a couple hikes with Holly and explore this abandoned conference center in the park with a couple of my members. The place that I felt the most normal while being in Kentucky was at different coffee shops, but of course one was in Elizabethtown, about 30 miles from our camp, and the other one was in Louisville when I was bringing someone to the emergency room. So neither one was really nearby, so I only went to each of them once. And that was the end of our first project of round one. This is all of us piling in the car to make our 6-hour journey to North Carolina.